Namaskar. Today I'm going to talk about eclipse, lunar eclipse, which is forming on 26th May 2021. This eclipse has been taking place in the sign of Scorpio. Right. Currently, we know all that Rahu and Ketu are also placed in uh, Scorpio sign and Taurus sign. So it is very simple to understand that wherever the Rahu and Ketu are placed in whichever sign each year, in those signs, solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse are formed. We all know that Rahu Ketu are intersection point of moon actually when it rotates. That's we all know the phenomena behind it. We are going to understand how this eclipse is going to affect us for each of us, all 12 zodiac sign. Uh, First of all, let's take the dates. So this eclipse will start around 1417 India IST time on 26th May 2021. It's a penumbral eclipse begins. That's the timing when it begins and will end at 1919. That is 7 o'clock 19 minutes in evening. So this is the whole duration of the eclipse, that is 5 hour 2 minutes. Moon gets debilitated in the sign of Scorpio. In the sign of Scorpio, moon doesn't feel right because it's a sign, it's the eighth house in the Kalpurush Kundali, and where moon is a luminary and which takes the light from the sun. And when it is in the eighth house, the house of darkness, it doesn't feel good about it. So eighth house is also a dark house, a hidden house, a house of depression, a house of suicidal thoughts, house of scandals, many things which are not seen by normal eyes, intangible things. They are seen from Scorpio sign or the eighth house. Eighth house is also your spouse's money. Eighth house is also your uh, Patrick Sampatti, we call it as. So, where the eighth sign is in your chart, you need to tick mark that house for this eclipse, and then you will understand in that particular area. So you have to take the house signification, wherever the Scorpio sign is placed in your chart, and just jot down what are the aspects, what are who are those people from those house, and then you can understand how this eclipse is going to influence you in that particular area. Now it's very simple to understand when the one liner which is about the eclipses, it shows the pending karma. It shows the activation of those karmas which are supposed to be fade off in this lifetime. If you want to understand the whole concept of like eclipse, I have made a video on eclipse 26 December 2019. You watch that video, and in the introduction part, I have described it so in detail. You'll get the total idea of that eclipse actually. So region which are seen at least some part of the eclipse are Southeast Asia, Australia, much of North America, South America, Pacific, Atlantic Ocean, Indian Ocean, and the Antarctica. So it's not been seen in India, but in our Shastras, we believe that whenever the eclipse is formed, it affects whole Earth actually. So whether it is completely not seen or it's seen, so it affects all of us, direct or indirect way. So and that only can be tested from you only, because before 15 days an eclipse and after 15 days of eclipse, we always feel the different kind of energy here. Sometimes if you think, or if you observe it, you can see that your heartbeat is fast, your mood is upset, or your mental disposition is disturbed, or sometimes with women, the kind of symptoms which they have before periods or premenstrual symptoms, they get it that time also. So so much of hormonal imbalance is also there. So it could be, it's not just because with the females, it could be either of them. So our biological clock or our biological cycles are also disturbed somehow. Now, who will get disturbed? First of all, we need to understand this. Now, especially those who are Cancer ascendant or Cancer sign, Leo ascendant or Leo sign. See why I'm saying Leo ascendant and Leo sign, especially for them, when it is a solar eclipse, they get more affected. But here we are talking about the lunar eclipse. So Cancer ascendant, Cancer sign, or if your again moon is placed in Cancer sign, those people, or you have prominent planets in moon nakshatra, that is Rohini, Hasta, and Shravan nakshatra. So if you have planets in these nakshatra, definitely you are going to get effects of this. Otherwise, also if you're Atma Karaka, Amatya Karaka, those are the highest and second highest degree planet in your chart. Those people who are running moon dasha, those people who are running Mars dasha, they are also going to get affected. Now, see, you need to understand the Tarabalam concept also here, because it is very important. When we call it the Vipat Nakshatra and Pratyari Nakshatra and the Vadha Nakshatra, which always cause destruction or some kind of in our life, so just simply relate it to when it is some Vipat Nakshatra time period, or moon is in Vipat Nakshatra, or this eclipse is forming in the Vipat Nakshatra, then it is all the sixth house significations are activated there, or you will get the result via sixth house, or the flavor of sixth house will be there. If it is a Pratyari Nakshatra, then it is the flavor of eighth house signification, or whatever we see from the eighth house, that is there, or that kind of flavor you will see in the eclipse time period. If your moon is transiting, or if your moon is in the Vadha Nakshatra, so Vadha Nakshatra, you can relate Vadha Nakshatra directly to 12th house signification, or whatever the 12th house is standing for, whatever the 12th house represents actually. So you can see flavor you will get in the eclipse. Now how you will see that? So first you need to understand what is your Janma Nakshatra. So Janma Nakshatra becomes one nakshatra, number one. And to understand this Tara Balam concept, please go through my channel, and please watch the Tara Balam video also. I have made it. After watching this video or before watching this video will be a good idea, because that will give you a good understanding about this video. So this is the one way to understand how the eclipse will influence you. Now the other which I was telling, whichever dasha is going on. See, if we talk about the Chara dasha, so Scorpio sign. If we talk about the Vimshottari dasha, then you need to see if you're running the major period of Moon or Mars or Venus also. Even same goes for Antardasha and the Pratyantar dasha also. So if all these things are happening, or these things are there, then definitely some or other way you are going to get affected by this eclipse. Now the third point is, which is a very important point. Why? Because this is the very subtle or the direct influencing factor in the eclipse actually, or in any transit, say per se. So now understand, whenever the eclipse is forming, take the Prashna Lagna of that time period and see what degree is there, the Lagna degree, and also where the moon is posited. Like here, a moon will be posited in the Scorpio sign, and see the degree of it. If the degree is matching in your horoscope with any other planet, that is also going to activate, or that is also going to trigger that planet or the house signification, or the planet's signification also. So this is how it will influence you. Now, what is the direct influence? If it is in Trikona, definitely it's a good influence. If it is 6, 8, 12, then it's obviously not a comfortable influence, right? Now, you also need to check which house it is forming in your chart. Right now, let's start with that. I'm going to take the axis because it is a axis of Scorpio and the Vrishabha, that is Taurus sign. So we will check which house it is for you. Okay, so this video is about the house placement, not the sign placement or the lagna rashi placement or the moon rashi placement. I'm not going to talk about like that. You need to see which house you have Scorpio and Taurus sign in your chart, right? Let's start with the Scorpio lagna here, or Scorpio when it is the first house. See, first house Scorpio, it is forming in the obviously lagna sign, so it is going to start or activate your own body, or something which you need to do for yourself, some unfinished business for about yourself. It could be like your unattended emotions, also something which you have not addressed properly, that you need to check, or that will come and slur up in your mind. So you need to give attention to them. Now Taurus sign in your seventh house, where the Rahu, Sun and Venus is posited. So definitely that time, that house shows other people in your life, your spouse, your business. So also you need to understand that this is the lagna and the seventh house. So for Scorpio and Taurus sign, the Kundalini awakening, or the sadhana time period, or the spiritual aspect of their life is also much more activated. It can trigger up. So do mention your comments, do mention your experience in the video, in the comment section of the video. Let's talk about when Scorpio and Taurus sign is in your second house. Now, see, when we talk about the second house, it's this axis, second house and the eighth house axis. It is all about your relatives, your speech, your food, the kind of food you intake, the people from your family, or the extension to your family. And the Scorpio shows that. And the when we talk about the Taurus, where the Rahu Venus Sun is there, which is in the eighth house for you. So it is going to show that, see, eighth house is house of all, like I said earlier in this video, that it is all about which you don't want to see, or which you don't want to experience. But that is very important, because when you don't attend those emotions, those people, Scorpio is something, it hits back actually, or it doesn't let you live properly, it doesn't let you live peacefully. So you need to attend those things also. And there Venus is also there, Rahu and Sun. So these three combination shows that it is related to your relationship, it is related to your father, it is related to the government, or the soul actually. So this is all which can get impacted, or some kind of unfinished business is there which you need to finish, or which you need to attend actually. If you talk about Scorpio sign is something which haunts actually. It is also known as the sign of it's curse actually, because somehow wherever the Scorpio is sitting in your chart, that also shows that the curse is followed. I'll take up this particular statement in some other video and put a more elaborated video about it. So this is how you can understand that this house, or those people, those signification, where the Scorpio in your chart, second house, which it needs attention, it's going to get activated, and you need to make some amendments over there. If we talk about third house placement of Scorpio and the ninth house placement of Taurus sign, you can see the third house is what? Third house is your efforts, your communication, your siblings, and also it is 12th from your mother. So be aware of her health. Take precautions for your for the health of your mother and father also, because some take 10th house for the father, or 9th house for the father. So if we see like that, it could be the 6th house or the Smarak house for your father. So please take care of your parents, because right now we know that we all are going through a pandemic situation, so where we need to address, or we need to take precautions actually. And specifically after having vaccination, many people are also having again corona infection, but they're not dying. That's a good news actually. It's treatable now. So you need to be careful in that area. You need to be careful for your for your siblings, for yourself, actually, for uh, uh, your your mother also. And if we talk about the Taurus sign, like I said, that father also, your work, don't go out if it is not needed. So this axis going to let you stir up some emotions which are not attended, actually, which are not addressed properly to those people, to those situation, to those signification which you have uh, not which you have ignored for a long time. So please do that and address them, take attention, transform your bad part to the good part in that area of your life. If we say that Scorpio and Taurus sign in your fourth house and 10th house, that will be the Sinha Lagna, right? So you see here that Moon Ketu combination in the fourth house and Venus Rahu Sun combination in the 10th house. So see, fourth house is again your mother, your house, your residence, your mental peace, uh, your your conscious mind also. And if you talk about the 10th house is career, your subordinates or your higher subordinates, which are higher in your rank, or your bosses, your colleagues who are much more higher than in the level, so hierarchy also. So those people, you might get some problem from them, or you might get some issues from them. It could be the thing which they are coming in such a way that you'll feel they are attacking you, but that is for your good, maybe, because somehow it's been lingered for a long time, and you might not have attended it. So there is a unfinished karma, unfinished business over there, which needs attention over there, right? So same goes for the fourth house also. So this was the thing where you need to transform your energy, negative energy, or the negative attitude towards the life. You need to transform that, and you need to address it properly. Meditation will be advised to you more, because somehow there will be so much of thought process, and which might upset your mind, actually, because it is forming in your fourth house. Fourth house is mental peace. So you already have started this kind of thought process, or this kind of mindset, because it's already within the 15 days period of eclipse, actually. If we talk about the Karka Lagna, or the Scorpio and Taurus placement in the 5th house and the 11th house, then you can see that this is the placement where your child, your skills, your Purva Punya, your mother's teeth, or your mother's face, or all this is going to get affected, influence. 11th house is house of gains, all kind of gains, where the Rahu, Venus, and Sun is there. See, this is the good part, where the Lord of that house is sitting over there with Rahu and Sun. So somehow, again, for you also, it is high time to attend your kids' demand. Actually, it's high time to attend your past affairs, old affairs, which are not which has not got closure. So why I'm saying that, sometimes it is good not to break the ice. Sometimes it is good to go and say sorry, and close that chapter, or give closure to that person, which is which might has heard from you, right? So you need to give them that. Sometimes the relationships are unattended, and they are like, because there is a Scorpio sign we are talking about. Scorpio sign is all about the hidden things, which are suppressed emotions, which are more of painful memories, actually, I must say. So you need to attend that. So some kind of unfinished business, some kind of unfinished karma is going to pop up, and you need to attend it, you need to address it. And if we talk about the Taurus, so Taurus is again here Venus, Rahu, Sun is there, which is forming a Navapancham Yoga with Saturn. So somehow this is much more about the Scorpio over there, not just the Rahu. So try to see beyond the illusions. Try to see beyond the curtains, actually. That I will suggest to Cancer ascendant or Cancer moon sign. Okay. Gemini sign, or the sixth house placement of Scorpio and 12th house placement of Taurus, then you need to understand that sixth house is all about your routine. Sixth house is all about the services which for which you don't get credit, actually. So please, some kind of unfinished business or some kind of unfinished karma is going to pop up, and then what you need to attend that, you need to address that, you need to give closure for that. Some kind of transformation is required to that that area. It's also the sixth house of diseases and 12th house of hospitalization. So for Gemini ascendant, I'm really going to suggest them to be very precautious, be very aware what you are putting into your mouth, the right ample amount of sleep you are getting, rest you are getting, because this is the eclipse which might hurt or which might trigger some physical discomfort in your life right now. So be very aware about it. It also going to awaken your spiritual aspect also, because it's a 12th house, and Venus over there or Rahu over there, sun is there, sun is over there. See, whenever sun is in any house, it just put the light over there. So all the signification, whether you don't want to show it or you want to show it, that will get lightened, that will get exposed off. So it's just that you need to be braced up that okay, this is how it is happening, right? These are the axes which we have talked about. Now again, you need to understand that the lagna, that is your own identity or your own personality, needs to work on. You need some transformation over there, and the other people, which shows the 7th house, that where the Scorpio or where the eclipse is forming. So you might feel that other people are not understanding you, other people are like not getting the things which you want to express. So be patient with that, because that might disturb your own mindset. So just sail through this time period till the time this whole eclipse is there. See, now what we have done is that we have understood all the aspect where the Scorpio and the Taurus sign, because we have discussed axis in this whole video. So for all the people who are watching this video, I need to tell you this, that just don't skip the part where I have explained this ascendant or this house or this. Just try to watch the whole video, because that's going to give you the gist or analysis about this eclipse, lunar eclipse. See, remedies for this eclipse is, whatever you do, the mantra chanting or any kind of sadhana in this time period, it is like you get 100 times more fruits in comparison to normal period, actually. So what is suggested to do those sadhanas, those time period, or those sadhanas or those mantra chanting which you are normally you have been doing through your life, right? For example, somebody is doing Gayatri mantra, he or she should keep doing that. Or somebody is doing the Hanuman Chalisa or Ram Raksha or Aditya Hriday Stotram, so you keep doing that. You do that thing in that time period, and you'll see, if not anything else, at least your lagna, that is your personality or your intelligence, that will get so much strength, and you might see yourself more focused, more concentrated, and more confirmed about your thoughts. So decision making will also improve via this. I wish best luck to all of you. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay in mask, don't get out. If it is not needed, just don't go out, maintain the social distance, and I wish you all the best. Thank you for listening me patiently, and I'll see you soon in the next video. Thank you.